Those are visuals coming in. Welcome to the Newshour viewers, and what a moment this one is. 17 days, 41 workers are heroes who walked out, and the heroes who worked round the clock for the last 17 days to pull out are heroes for all of them who were stuck in this tunnel. And finally, with the grace of God, they're all fine. Their first initial medical checkups have said that all seem to be in good health, vital, stable, and the smiles on their face, the 24-carat smiles that we saw on their faces, almost like a 200-watt bulb, if you could call it that, clearly shows that these heroes kept their nerve and decided that they were going to make it. Mental makeup there, and then of course the work of all of those NDRF, SDRF, special experts who had been flown in, the entire bureaucracy as well as the entire administrative focus of the Uttarakhand government, the way the central government has monitored the entire situation, doctors, what have you. It's taken an entire lot of teamwork to make this moment one that will remain an indelible memory in our minds, because in the end, all's well that ends well. Few anxious moments every now and then, but on day 17, 41 of our heroes have walked out, ordinary human beings, ordinary workers who were caught in, but the perseverance of the government, the perseverance of the political leadership at the center, and the perseverance of the experts just kept going, because every life of an Indian matters. And that really is the takeaway, that every life matters. However, poor, small, rich, it doesn't matter who you are, what you are, how much money you have, what your economic status is. But every Indian life matters, and today every Indian life that was in danger was saved from this tunnel after 17 days. And that has been a huge achievement. My colleague Abhishek joins me live from the tunnel, where latest information, 9 ambulances have left through the green corridor. Barkha also joining me live from the hospital. We'll take a quick update. Abhishek, what is the latest? कितने और हमारे श्रमवीर बाकी हैं? रेस्क्यू अभी जिन्हें कर लिया गया है और एम्बुलेंस में उन्हें बैठाना बाकी है।
देखिए, तो अभी जो रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन है उसमें अभी 2 और बचे हैं। 39 लोगों को रेस्क्यू कर लिया गया है और लगातार हॉस्पिटल में उनका इलाज भी चल रहा है और लगातार उनके चेकअप चल रहा है। उनके ऑक्सीजन और बीपी और तमाम शुगर जैसी तमाम चीज़ों का चेकअप करने के बाद हॉस्पिटल में से उन्हें एम्बुलेंस में पहुंचाया गया है। देखिए, 2 अभी बैचेस निकल चुके हैं एम्बुलेंस के, एक बार 4 और एक बार 5, तो तकरीबन 9 लोगों को यहाँ से चिलियानी सैंड में भेज दिया गया है और आने वाले जो समय में 9 निकल चुके हैं और बाकी 32 और बचते हैं। अभी उनके लिए लगातार
के लिए रोकूंगी मैं अभिषेक, क्योंकि इस वक्त प्रधानमंत्री का पहला रिएक्शन आ रहा है। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी का ट्वीट है, योर करेज एंड पेशेंस इज इंस्पायरिंग, आई प्रे फॉर रेस्क्यूड वर्कर्स हेल्थ। ये है इस वक्त का ट्वीट, और अगर हम ये ट्वीट स्क्रीन पर ले सकें, प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी का पहला रिएक्शन, और ये ट्वीट उनका सीधा स्क्रीन पर डाला गया है। उन्होंने कहा है कि वो प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं कि सारे हमारे जितने श्रमिक बाहर निकले हैं वो स्वस्थ हों, और ये ट्वीट आपके स्क्रीन पर इस वक्त बड़ी खबर जो आ रही है। मेरे साथ मेरी सहयोगी माय colleague Barkha also joining me live from the hospital. Barkha, what is the latest? Is it full preps that are on to receive the 41 workers expected to be brought here from the tunnel? And how many doctors are available on the spot? And is the administration in total readiness?
Navika ji, these preparations were on full swing from the last few days, and as you just rightly said, there are almost 20 specialists who have been called from Uttarkashi, Dehradun, Tehri, and they are here to check the vitals of those 41 laborers who are about to reach here anytime soon. We just had a word with the one official here. He just informed us and that it might take 30 to 35 minutes for the first 5 ambulances to reach here. तस्वीरें जो पीछे की अगर मैं आपको दिखाऊंगी, अभी फिलहाल हलचल बहुत ज्यादा यहाँ पर बढ़ गई है. तैयारी पिछले कई दिनों से पूरी कर ली गई थी और आज का दिन बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है. The rescue operation today entered its 17th day and finally we got the good news we were waiting for. The last 17 days the rescue teams were working relentlessly 24/7 just to make sure that the evacuation process was done successfully, and that even happened. So fine, it took a little while, but yes, now we are here waiting for them to reach here. 41 people who were trapped there for 17 days. We really don't know in what mental condition they would be, what physical condition there would be. So the doctors will be checking them. There'll be all blood tests, the liver, kidney, and all the initial tests which need to be done after a person is
also reactions coming in. President of India, Draupadi Murmu, also tweeting out there and saying, I feel relieved and happy to learn that all workers trapped in a tunnel in Uttarakhand have been rescued. Their travels over 17 days as the rescue effort met with obstacles have been a testament of human endurance. The nation salutes their resilience and remains grateful to them for building critical infrastructure even at great personal risk, far away from their homes. I congratulate the teams and all experts who have acted with incredible grit and determination to perform one of the most difficult rescue missions in history. So, President of India also tweeting, and at this moment, of course, all congratulations pouring in. Every chief minister also putting out the tweet. The Congress party also, Jairam Ramesh putting out a tweet saying that they're very relieved that all the workers have been brought out. Also, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, उत्तरकाशी की सिलक्यारा सुरंग में पिछले 17 दिनों से जीवन मृत्यु के बीच फंसे हुए सभी मजदूर भाई सकुशल बाहर आ गए हैं. रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन में लगे हुए एक एक जांबाज को सैल्यूट. आपने देश भर की दुआओं को कामयाब करके दिखा दिया है. मजदूर भाई जल्द से जल्द स्वस्थ हों. उनके परिजनों को खूब बधाई. So everybody involved in the operation also being congratulated, but not one word for the administration and the political leadership for taking this entire decision to continuously work and keep pushing the boundaries as far as the rescue operations were concerned. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the visuals of 41 trapped men being brought out amidst loud applause and cheer. And this is the culmination of backbreaking dedication of rescue operation teams for the last 17 days. One by one, all of the special 41 were safely brought out in stretchers and whisked away for a medical checkup by the team of medics. Chief Minister Dhami and Union Minister General V.K. Singh themselves stood at the mouth of the escape tunnel to greet the rescued laborers. In fact, today we've seen the coming together of high-end technology and our undying faith in God. It was a race against time to rescue these 41 men. For the last 17 days, rescue operations have been carried out with sophisticated machinery, while prayers have been offered for their safe return. The Prime Minister also hailing this, as does the President of India. Mining experts, Chinook helicopters and ambulances, all planned to the last T, and a green passage being built clearly shows the kind of detailed planning that went into this. While every Indian prayed for a successful rescue, the opposition was busy, as usual, with Rajniti. The Congress tweeted a political satire of the Prime Minister with a green flag outside the tunnel. They put a caption saying, "Bring in more cameras and you'll get a darshan of the Prime Minister." Reiterating this attack on the Prime Minister, Congress leaders took to social media and said that Now that election campaigning is over, the superhero may just arrive at the tunnel. Their alliance partners, Aam Aadmi Party and the left too, jumped in to politicize and blame the Prime Minister. Listen in to all the attacks.
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने तमाम नए शब्द ईजाद किए हैं, जैसे आंदोलन जीवी, पता नहीं क्या क्या जीवी उन्होंने ईजाद किए। तो इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं। आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का कैमरा प्रेम किसी से छिपा नहीं, तो अगर वहां जाएंगे तो भी कैमरा जाएगा। तो अगर ये एक राजनीतिक स्वस्थ कटाक्ष किया गया, भाई कुछ कैमरा लगवा दो जिससे प्रधानमंत्री जी आ जाए, उन 41 मजदूरों पर रहम खाइएगा, आप मत जाइएगा, क्योंकि आपके जाने के बाद वहां लोगों का ध्यान भंग हो जाएगा।
उसमें निश्चित रूप से प्रधानमंत्री जी को संज्ञान लेना चाहिए। और चूंकि देश के अंदर एक इस तरह का धीरे धीरे परसेप्शन बनता जा रहा है कि देश में जहां चुनाव होता है वहां प्रधानमंत्री जी जाते हैं, लेकिन जहां देश में संकट आता है वहां प्रधानमंत्री जी नहीं जाते हैं।
The reports are coming out, food, water, all being sent inside. But what is their condition? Nobody knows how corrupt practices were going on. So what is happening under Modi's regime? What is the safety measure they undertake?
इस बात के लिए हम देखकर खुश हो लें कि वो जीवित बाहर आ गए हैं। इसके बाद फिर सवाल होंगे, इसके बाद पूछा जाएगा कि किसको क्या करना चाहिए था और किसने क्या किया।
Of course, the BJP was quick to completely hit back at the Congress.
बहुत स्पष्ट दिखाई पड़ रही है कि इस फेक फैमिली का फ्रस्ट्रेटेड फ्रॉड एक के बाद एक जो दिख रहा है, उससे समझ में आ रहा है कि उनके दिमाग की स्थिति क्या है। जहां तक इस संवेदनशील मुद्दे पर इस तरह की घटिया सियासत करना, मुझे लगता है कि शर्म की बात है। और खुद पीएमओ उसको मॉनिटर कर रहा है, वहां मुख्यमंत्री जी कर रहे हैं, खुद जो है वो जो मिश्रा जी वहां पर जो है वो उस पूरे के पूरे ऑपरेशन पे में दिन और रात नजर रखे हुए हैं।
देखिएगा, ये दुर्भाग्य है जिस समय कांग्रेस को उन 41 जानों के लिए प्रार्थना करनी चाहिए थी, हर बात के अंदर मजाक और उनका अपमान करना, ये उनको हमेशा दिखता रहता है। और आज पूरा देश 41 लोगों की जान के लिए प्रार्थना कर रहा है और वो अपने कॉमेडी के अंदर मजाक में लगे हुए, दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है।
So the legitimate question we are asking on the Newshour tonight: why Rajniti over rescue operations? That's the question and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour first. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Before I go to the political debate, I have with me in the studio Kishan Mitru, Consultant Disaster Management and Environment, joining me in the studios. Also with me to my left is Shehzad Poonawala, National Spokesperson of the BJP. To my right is Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst, supports the Congress party. Also joining me tonight, Ishkaran Bhandari, advocate. We are also being joined by Dr. Harish Shetty, psychiatrist, in just a bit, as will Vivek Srivastav, political analyst, and Abbas Haider, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, also joining us in just a bit. But first, I'd like to go to you, Mr. Kishan Mitru. And my question to you is, how close were we to this rescue, from day one? As the days passed by, were we fighting against many odds, or were you confident all along that this rescue operation was going in the right direction?
You see, every time, every technology was employed in the evacuation of these people, it appeared that we are going to achieve our target, our goal. But somehow something happened, unfortunate thing happened, and the machinery gave way. The technology gave way. Ultimately, I call it success and failure story. Time and again, it was repeated till 400 hours lapsed, and finally the rat hole mining technology worked. The man came to the last bit of rescue. And however, there was nothing wrong in employing the machinery that we did.
I'll just have to interrupt you, Mr. Mitru, there, because there is the first press conference there of the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, Mr. Dhami. We'll just cut across to that.
जिसमें हमारे श्रमिक भाई 16 दिनों से भी लगातार अंदर संघर्ष कर रहे थे और पूरा देश उनके लिए बाहर संघर्ष कर रहा था। इस पूरे अभियान में लगे हुए सभी कर्मचारियों को, सभी कार्मिकों को, सभी विशेषज्ञों को, सभी हमारे वैज्ञानिकों को, सभी भारत सरकार की संस्थाओं को और एक एक व्यक्ति, हमारा एक एक व्यक्ति जो मीडिया से भी थे, उन समेत मैं सबका धन्यवाद करता हूं कि इस बहुत ही कठिन और चुनौतीपूर्ण काम को सभी लोगों ने अपना सहयोग प्रदान किया और बहुत चुनौतीपूर्ण काम होते हुए भी प्रातःकाल और शाम दोनों टाइम हमारे प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय मोदी जी लगातार इस रेस्क्यू अभियान की हमसे सभी लोगों से लगातार जानकारी करते थे, लगातार अपना जो सहयोग देना था, जो उनका एक संबल था और उनका जो एक सहयोग और हम लोगों को जो भरोसा था और जो उन्होंने, मैं कहूं व्यक्तिगत रूप से उन्होंने मुझे एक काम भी दिया हुआ था, ये ड्यूटी दी थी कि किसी भी तरीके से इन सबका समन्वय करते हुए बाहर निकालना है। तो उनका अगर संबल न होता, उनका इतना जिस प्रकार से आज भारत सरकार की सारी हमारी एजेंसियां इस काम में लगी, तो निश्चित रूप से जो कठिन काम भी हमारे लिए आसान हो गया। मैं उनका भी धन्यवाद करता हूं कि और अभी भी उन्होंने, जैसे ही हमारे सभी श्रमिक भाई बाहर आए, उनका अभी दूरभाष पर फोन आया था और उन्होंने कहा कि सभी को मेडिकल उनका चेकअप ठीक से करना है, उनके परिजनों की सबकी कुशल क्षेम जानी, उनकी चिंता करनी है, उनके घरों तक ले जाने की उनकी व्यवस्था करनी है। सभी प्रकार से उन्होंने संपूर्ण चिंता करने का काम किया है। हमारे और भी सभी लोग इस काम में लगे हुए थे और विशेषकर से उत्तराखंड के हमारे सभी देवी देवताओं का भी मैं उनको भी नमन करता हूं कि उन्होंने बहुत काम किया। हमारे राष्ट्रीय जो सड़क परिवहन मंत्रालय है उसमें आदरणीय गडकरी जी भी बीच में आए, उन्होंने भी यहाँ पर हर तरीके से इसको देखा और हमारे जनरल बीके सिंह जी, इनका मैं विशेष रूप से सबकी तरफ से और उत्तराखंड वासियों की तरफ से इनका मैं धन्यवाद इसलिए करता हूं कि एक कैंप बनाकर लगातार यहां पर रहे और एक दिन भी इन्होंने यहां से कभी ये नहीं सोचा कि मैं यहां से कहीं बाहर जाऊं और इस कठिन काम को लोगों को लगातार संबल प्रदान करने का काम, उनको प्रोत्साहन करने का काम और पूरा हमारा जहां सभी एजेंसियां लगी हुई थी वहीं पीएमओ के भी सभी अधिकारी अपने अपने तरीके से इस पूरे अभियान को अपना सहयोग प्रदान कर रहे थे, योगदान प्रदान कर रहे थे। आगे आने वाले समय में हम ये जो जितने भी हमारे इस प्रकार के टनल उत्तराखंड के अंदर चल रहे हैं उन सभी की समीक्षा भी करेंगे और वैसे तो भारत सरकार ने इसमें सेफ्टी ऑडिट कर दिया है जिससे आगे निकट भविष्य में हमको इस प्रकार की किसी परेशानियों का सामना न करना पड़े। मैं सभी श्रमिक भाइयों को उनके उज्जवल भविष्य के लिए, उज्जवल जीवन के लिए मैं उनको सबको शुभकामनाएं देता हूं, उनके परिजनों को भी उनको भी शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। और लगातार इतना कठिन चुनौतीपूर्ण काम जिसमें आपने देखा कि ऑगर मशीन मंगाई गई और पहले इंदौर से मंगाई गई, हैदराबाद से मंगाई गई और जिस प्रकार से मशीन बार बार अंदर टूट जा रही थी, जिस प्रकार से फंस जा रही थी, वहां पर गडर आ जा रहे थे, तमाम हार्ड रॉक आ जा रही थी, उसके कारण से वो बार बार रुक रही थी। लेकिन जो हमारे दिल्ली जल बोर्ड के और गोरखपुर से जो नीचे जाकर मैनुअल माइनिंग करने वाले थे उन सभी का भी मैं अपनी ओर से धन्यवाद भी करता हूं, उनका मैं अभिनंदन करना चाहता हूं। मैं सभी से एक एक से अभी मिला हूं और उन मजदूर भाइयों से भी मिला हूं जो बाहर निकल कर आए हैं। सभी लोगों ने कहा कि हमको हर संभव कभी अंदर किसी प्रकार की परेशानी नहीं हुई। निश्चित रूप से ये हम लोगों के लिए एक बहुत सुकून वाली बात है कि इतना बड़ा एक आपदा आने के बाद भी सारे लोग जो है सकुशल बाहर निकल पाए। सभी देखिए अलग अलग थे, जैसे कि अंदर विशेष रूप से जो हमारी शुरू से बात हो रही थी उसमें सबा अहमद, गब्बर
Well, that was Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, Mr. Pushkar Singh Dhami, talking about it. Let me also welcome on the panel Dr. Harish Shetty, psychiatrist. Joining me this evening is also Suhail Seth, columnist, marketing guru. There is also Vivek Srivastava, political analyst, joining me on the show tonight. But let me open up this debate and let me ask you, Tehseen Poonawalla. The Congress party was in a great hurry to somehow cash in even on this to start politics. What did that meme tweeted from the Congress handle really talk about? It talked about get more cameras. आपको ये तमाशा लग रहा था जो उत्तराखंड में 17 दिनों से चल रहा था? 41 of our workers trapped inside a tunnel, and for the Congress it was a tamasha. And you were putting out cartoons and memes of the Prime Minister, call cameras and then he will come here, let campaigning get over, and now he will descend here. I want to ask you, Tehseen Poonawalla, is this not making fun of really the adverse circumstances in which 41 families were caught because their relative, their brethren were in that tunnel, and the Congress could only think about its politics in bad taste?
Namaskar, Navika ji. At the onset, however divided all of us are by ideologies, we are all united today that 41 of our workers have come out, have been rescued, and a big gratitude to our NDRF, SDRF, our armed forces, our rescue experts, the government and the media in particular for staying put there. So many congratulations, and I hope that, you know, I'm confident that the government will take care of them.
You don't have to thank us. It's our job. And
yes,
we didn't stay put.
You all stayed
we
put.
didn't stay put. We covered that entire rescue operation as it should have, because the country was looking at it. We didn't just stay put there, Tehseen. Just a minor correction.
I think that's a good word, but okay. I mean, congratulations and thank you to the media. And I'm sure that the government will ensure, and our paramedics will ensure, the best of treatment, because some of them may suffer from dehydration, malnutrition and other issues, even hypothermia, because you're in such a cold area. I think legitimate criticism must be done, particularly because while we've rescued, and that's a great achievement today, these workers should not have been trapped in that tunnel. Just 3 questions. I don't want to politicize it. Why was an escape route not made? Point number 1. Point number 2. In any such operation where you sort of dig a tunnel in the Himalayas, which are very fragile ecological zone, we now have the technology to do a 3D demonstration to you hope for the best, but you should be prepared for the worst. Was not done. Equipment that was used, please allow me to complete and don't interrupt me. For example, in the Himalayan
Are you threatening me?
No, I'm just requesting you. In the Himalayan region, you use different kind of technology. It's very different from the other areas where you dig mines, you dig tunnels inside mountains, etc. Because the Himalayas are still raising. You don't use JCB or you don't use dynamite. What you use is tunnel boring machine that disturbs limited ecology. That was not done. So a lot of questions need to be answered, and these questions must be, and we must get answers to them. Because while I again say we rescued 41 of our fellow citizens, in the first place, they should not have been trapped. One last thing, even when we were bringing the rescue equipment to save them, the roads were not wide enough. We didn't plan this through that if something goes wrong. So if the government today gets credit for rescuing them, they should take the blame for what happened. Remember in Gujarat in the last 1 year, just 2022, 8 bridges collapsed. We don't have answers. Morbi, what happened? We don't have answers. So I think these questions are legitimate. They must be asked of the government. It's a government that has been incompetent on that front. While they rescue people, congratulations.
Questions must be asked, and you've been asking a lot of those questions over the last 9.5 years. But Shehzad Poonawalla, is there something about timing of questions? The scientific approach that Tehseen Poonawalla comes up with, where did the scientific approach go when the Prime Minister was called Panoti which is, height of superstition and no science involved there?
First of all, Har Har Mahadev and Bharat Mata Ki Jai. This is nothing short of a second Diwali, and what a beautiful story of human resolve, grit and determination of the 41 Indians who were trapped in this tunnel of despair. And what a story of national perseverance, prayas, prarthana and prayatna of a country that put its all of the government approach together. When is the last time, Navika, and you've been in this business of journalism for so many years, that we saw the PMO, CMO, SDRF, NDRF, NDMA, SDMA, all the agencies, including the telephone department, to get a telephone line in place, BRO, ONGC, still trying to drill the vertical hole down to the tunnel. All of these agencies come together. Yes, in the life of a nation, there will be challenges, but how you overcome these challenges is also important. And today was a display of Manavta, machinery and Mahadev, all three coming together, and the rescue of these 41 Indians. Now let me come to Tehseen Poonawalla. We can get out 41 Indians from a tunnel and from a surang, but we can't get the Congress's negativity out of a surang. Uski machine और उसके लिए मनुष्य अभी तक तैयार नहीं हुआ. These are the same bunch of people who want Tejas to crash just because Modi takes a ride in it. These are the people who want our vaccines to fail. They spread vaccine hesitancy at the peak of COVID. These are the people who demand surgical strike and Balakot airstrike ka proof. You have a problem with Modi, go settle it with Modi and with the BJP. We are here night after night. But today was a day when collective prayers of 141 crore Indians should have been with those 41 Indians. Rather than that, you put out a childish meme. And by the way, if you are coming down to memes, what was the meme you created? A meme that Prime Minister Modi will be putting out the green flag. You know, when the Uttarakhand floods took place in 2013, the green flag to the relief trucks could not be given, Navika, because Rahul Gandhi was abroad. And when the trucks were given the green flag to go for the relief work, they did not know where to go. So 2 days they were in Congress office. This is what they have done to Devbhoomi, Uttarakhand, and they have the gall to speak. You know, you are right, Navika. Questions must be asked. Already an audit has been started by the NHAI. All the tunnels are being audited. But my question is that were these questions being asked for the safety and the security of the Indians, or were they being asked because some people can't get out of their vulture politics? And therefore, I say, from the tunnels that Tehseen Poonawalla and the Congress ill Karan, there is no way out.
Well, let me get in. I'm coming to you, Tehseen. Let me get in Suhail Seth. Suhail said questions must be asked, and in this country we ask a lot of questions every day. The point is there supposed to be a timing for this or not? Or in the middle of a rescue operation, when we've taken 3 steps forward, 2 steps backward, then another 1 step forward and half a step backwards, for 17 days it's been a roller coaster, hopes going up and hopes coming down, with actual real people trapped in there, and 41 families literally holding their breath. What's going to happen the next minute? In the middle of that, when the Congress puts out a meme and says, get more cameras and then, the Prime Minister will come here. Is this not just complete lack of sensitivity at the first place? When they say that they are here to save the nation, save the constitution, what happens to their sensitivity towards the 41 trapped workers?
So let me say a couple of things. Number one, there are times when you oppose as an opposition. There are times when you come together for a larger national cause. This rescue mission was one of them. Number two, each and every miner who was trapped and each and every person who did and was part of the rescue effort was an Indian first. They belonged to no political party. To then give it political color is the most pernicious and the most mind-boggling thing to do. Sometimes, Navika, I wonder which dolt is running Congress's campaign. Because that person alone should be given full marks for destroying the little worth that the Congress continues to build itself, continues to build for itself, and then destroys it as succinctly as it does. The third, why do you always mock the Prime Minister? For God's sake, either be part of the solution or step away. To constantly infuse every crisis management with negativity, to pick holes, to ridicule. There's an interesting thing, Navika. People respect people who ask questions with a purpose of solving a problem. People detest people who ask questions with a pernicious attitude to say, Dekha, maine iska band bajaya. The whole nation was coming together. People were praying in unison. It wasn't a Congress rescue, it wasn't a BJP rescue. Narendra Modi didn't plan the entrapment of these minors, neither did Rahul Gandhi. This is what happens. Tehseen Poonawala asks, oh, why was this route not done? Why was that route not done? Great. Why do you think these things are called accidents? If we had everything well in advance, all preparatory work, even with that, do you know something? Yesterday in South Africa, a shaft of a lift killed 11 people because it just lost balance. That's why these things are called accidents. No politician plans these accidents, especially during an election time. So to assume that, oh, why was this not done? Why was that? Yes, you must ask these questions. But there's a time and place. There's a purposefulness with which you ask the question because you want a solution for the future. It's not that you want to ridicule the Prime Minister, make fun of the people who are standing there. How many Congress people actually went to the site to help with the rescue? But there were enough Congress people making fun of those who were part of that rescue program, including the Prime Minister. And you know something? This is a very interesting communication piece of advice I want to give you. Narendra Modi is getting more popular because of the venom you heap on him. My advice would be if you start praising him, he might become less popular. But because you continuously spread hatred, spread venom, say he's not doing this, he's not doing that, he's not doing this, first he doesn't give a toss about what you think. Number two, the people say, ये देखो, ये बेचारा 18 घंटे रोज काम कर रहा है और कांग्रेस सिर्फ इसको गाली देती है. You're making him the victim.
Absolutely.
So whoever's advising,
and really to point fingers and to poke holes.
Why don't you take over the Congress party? You will make a better communication professional. Sanjay Jha has been suspended. You're the only guy who's available for the Congress to give them some level of intellectual input. You take over and it's a party ready to be taken over.
Well. Those suggestions maybe could be put directly because I don't want to get boycotted all over again by them for making such suggestions on my show. But Abbas Haider, you know, to poke holes into the whole rescue operation. And to raise question, oh, the Prime Minister is busy campaigning. He is not caring about the 41 workers trapped there. You know, is this really a losing battle that the opposition fights every now and then? Simply because, you know, the Prime Minister's office has been involved throughout. The Prime Minister himself daily, morning, evening and night has been checking on the progress of the rescue operations. The way we've seen the coordination that has gone on, the way union ministers, PMO officials have been sent, I mean, it's been there for the world to watch. Now, what is it that the opposition doesn't understand? Ek keh dega, Are bhai, if he's flying the Tejas, he's doing a photo op. The other one will say that the Tejas should crash. The third one says he's not looking at the rescue option. The fourth one says that, he's Ravan, he's Panoti. Is the opposition on a death wish, trying to poke holes when the facts say otherwise and the whole world can see those facts?
Navika ji, first of all, we all salute the resilience of those 41 workers which have come out after this horrific incident. And Navika ji, this is not the time for debate. I don't want to politicize this issue. But since you have told me about minute program of the Prime Minister, which I am not aware of, I would like to tell you that Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, Pushkar Singh Dhami, this incident happened on 13th and on 15th he was campaigning in Madhya Pradesh. On 17th he was campaigning in Rajasthan. So you can see how serious they were about this incident. But yes, it is a moment of pride for every one of us because they have ultimately came out of that tunnel. But I have a piece of advice for the government that, we need to develop certain proactive measure and technique so that we can, if incident of such type happens in future, we need to be tackle it more in a better way. Because I am one person who has suffered similar kind of incident in January this year. I've lost my family members and I know the pain. I can understand. This has been I'm very happy about these people who were fortunate enough to come out. But we have seen what happened in Morbi and other places as well. They were not fortunate. My family members were not that fortunate. So we need to think about that. And the one thing I would like to point out, because this tunnel was getting constructed from one side. If it would have been constructed from both sides, it would have been taken much less time to rescue those workers. Zojila is a tunnel which is getting constructed in Kashmir. That is getting constructed from both the sides. So I think such safety audits needs to be kept in check, and so that incident of such measures should not take place.
All right. I suddenly am surrounded by tunnel experts. Mr. Abbas Haider and Tehseen Poonawala have suddenly turned tunnel experts.
Don't equate me, because that's actually wrong. It was being constructed from both sides. That part is
no, but आपने तो कहा dynamite नहीं,
yeah,
ये
those are well researched points.
I want to ask you,
Kishan. Points if you don't put cement.
I want to ask you, Kishan Mitru. Was the tunnel being made wrongly? Number one. Number two, were the rescue operations not being carried out scientifically?
You see, question one, was the tunnel being constructed rightly? The only thing went wrong in this tunnel was that safety measures were not taken into account. This is a chapter by itself to speak on. I could, but due to the time, I'll restrict myself here. Just now, we heard that the tunnel was being dug from only one side. No, sir. It was from both the sides. The side where the tunnel collapsed, it was some 58 meters thick debris which fell and blocked the tunnel. On the other side, it was 400 meters debris which was still to be dug. It was being dug from both sides. Number one. Number two. Now, as far as our situation today is concerned, I feel most concerned when the whole thing is politically twisted. This is a Diwali, because the incident, the accident happened on a Diwali day when 41 of our countrymen did not see the Diwali. They have come out today. It is I really celebrated when I heard that all 41 people, all 41 workers are out of the tunnel. It was a day for, my heart was celebrating it. I'm sure many of us would have done that. I can understand the feeling of the workers who came out, the 41st worker who came out. It was their perseverance and their grit and will to survive, which they did. However, after this, I would say a lot of questions are being asked. All that will come out once the inquiry commissions are set up. I understand already that Chief Justice of Uttarakhand High Court, Justice Tiwari, has already started inquiry commission as a result of one of the PILs filed in Uttarakhand High Court on the third or the fourth day of the collapse. That besides, there will be a lot of inquiries and which will come out, which will form.
True, but to begin to find fault,
which will form lessons learnt from this major incident that we have gone through. I think this will be a
absolutely it will be.
Just in 20 seconds, because you have somebody like Suhail who also observes international politics. Look at what is happening with Prime Minister Netanyahu. He has been facing a lot of protests, but the moment Hamas attacked, the entire opposition is standing with Netanyahu today. But in the case of our country, you have people who want Tejas to crash. They want Tejas to crash, which means they want Indian Air Force pilots to die because they can't stand Narendra Modi. This is the pits.
Terrible.
And there are people who are sitting here and giving us lectures who said BJP ka vaccine hai. Ask them if Akhilesh Yadav took the vaccine. Ask Mr. Abbas Haider, has Akhilesh Yadav taken the vaccine?
1 minute. Shehzad,
1 minute. I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you, Mr. Mitru. Suhail said, what's your point? What's your counter?
your visceral hatred for Narendra Modi must not be seen as visceral hatred for India. But tragically, that's what's happening. AP, and I will end by this, and even Vivek will agree with me.
They are not
You are
same.
also playing into those people who have an agenda of an anti-India narrative from overseas.
Right.
I'm not saying everyone has an anti-India agenda, but you're playing into those hands. I would urge people to be cautious as to when and how this abuse of everything India and Indian continues, regardless.
Well, Vivek Srivastava, please respond. Of course, the opposition must raise questions. Of course, the opposition must criticize. But is there supposed to be a timing for that? Or are you supposed to do it in the middle of a rescue operation where 41 lives are on the line?
See, first of all, without going into the technical details, like two other people on the panel already have stated, I mean, Sohail bhai, you need to understand accidents are different, negligence is different. This was a case of negligence. And that is why not only the oppositions, but even the common man must question the government as to why the negligence was done and why the worker's life was, put into peril. That is the first part. The second part is that, it's not that we are against the nation or we are against the Prime Minister just for the heck of it. I mean, in Rajasthan, before elections, the posters had already been printed. At election time, campaign time, India jeetega or Modi saab ke posters batenge. It was all timed by the BJP media machine. And here the Prime Minister, you see, he was not showing the concern that he should have shown.
Prime Minister was not showing the concern and the timing had been fixed ke poster batenge. Vivek Srivastava, do you have any facts to support your case?
Thankful, yes.
Do you have any facts to support your case?
इनको इनकी पार्टी में क्या नहीं पता?
Yes.
ये हमारी पार्टी का क्या बता रहे हैं? इनको इनकी पार्टी का नहीं पता। सर, आपकी पार्टी की मीटिंग लास्ट टाइम कब हुई बताओ?
इलेक्शंस वहां चल रहे थे, आप लोग
सर राजस्थान में आपके कितने आपके लोग हैं राजस्थान में गिन के? Who's your party president in राजस्थान? आप वो बता दो। हमारी पार्टी का छोड़ दो, अपनी पार्टी का प्रेसिडेंट बताओ।
Don't divert, Shahzad. When you don't
अपनी पार्टी का प्रेसिडेंट बताओ राजस्थान में।
Don't divert.
आपको मेरी पार्टी के कौन से पोस्टर छपे पता है? आपको अपनी पार्टी का प्रेसिडेंट नहीं पता राजस्थान में। ये लेफ्ट वालों का हाल है। मैं आपसे एक दरख्वास्त करता हूँ टाइम्स नाउ के व्यूअर्स, ये लेफ्ट वाले अच्छा है, कैंटीन तक ही सीमित है। एक यूनिवर्सिटी की कैंटीन तक ही इनको सीमित करना है।
Don't get frustrated. You are frustrated.
आप अपने पार्टी के प्रेसिडेंट का नाम बताओ।
पार्टी के भाजपा के प्रवक्ता फ्रस्ट्रेट हो गए और चीखने लगे। आप फ्रस्ट्रेट मत होइए, प्लीज डोंट गेट फ्रस्ट्रेटेड। शहजाद पूनावाला, प्राइम मिनिस्टर को वीडियो बनवाना, फोटो खिंचवाना अच्छा लगता है, एंड वी नो इट, एंड वी आर हैप्पी ही डिडंट गो टू दिस टनल फियास्को। पता लगा सारा एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन उनके आप भगत में लग जाता और जो बचे हैं वहां भी प्रॉब्लम।
Vivek Srivastava, now this really shows your frustration. You were calling out to other people's frustration. This shows your frustration.
The News Hour first will be
Ishkaran Bhandari, I want to ask you, and I also have Dr. Harish Shetty with me, who's a psychiatrist. After we talked to him about the mental health of our workers who have come out after 17 days, I'd also want him to respond to the mental health of politicians in our country. But Ishkaran Bhandari, poster छपे हुए थे, प्रधानमंत्री वहां चले जाते, सारा एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन डाइवर्ट होता, प्रधानमंत्री was not paying any attention to the rescue operations. How does Mr. Vivek Srivastava substantiate with evidence any of these charges? Or in politics, unlike in courts of law, you can say anything you want and evidence is just immaterial?
Navika ji, focus with all that is great with Bharat before we come to Congress and the communists. The machinery broke, but the human will to live did not break, and we had a world-class rescue operation. But when it comes to why Congress is speaking like this, please understand the entire Char Dham project has been opposed by NGOs, and they have filed case after case, even though it was required by our military for defense purposes also. Do not forget the background of this entire case, and if this lobby gets any objection or any opportunity to stop or stall this project, they would try their level best to help China. First fact of this. The second fact of this, which we have to be very clear, why they do feel it's a photo op. When let me finish my point. When the Uttarakhand floods happened, who was partying outside India and who waited for 2 weeks after the then Chief Minister of Gujarat went to Uttarakhand to rescue certain Gujaratis trapped there? They had to flag off the rescue trucks, but that is not enough. There is an NDTV report, and NDTV we knew is very sympathetic to Congress. Their report which said that these relief trucks were stranded because they did not have fuel. They had nobody from the political party or the government telling them where do they exactly have to go. This was the level of buffoonery happening in this country, where the rescue trucks could not reach the people needing rescue because there is no fuel and there is no instructions. Compared to that, the level of sophistication by which this entire operation has been carried out, every single life has been rescued. They appear, thank God, reasonably fit and are likely to recover. The families have been consoled.
I think that project
is the
should be
level
stopped.
of professionalism.
The
Don't
project
interrupt.
should be stopped.
Don't interrupt.
It's a technically
That
faulty
is the
project.
level
Please stop the project.
That is the level
So
of...
first,
Then
you
Nalika,
just
let me
said
finish.
that
Last point.
Char Dham project
Exactly.
should be stopped has been the refrain from the beginning, and today it's been reiterated. But let me get in Dr. Harish Shetty. Dr. Harish Shetty, I just want to ask you, at this moment, and the ambulances are expected to reach the hospital any moment now, at this moment, are there any concerns that we should be having about the mental health? Of course, it's been a very grueling time for these 41 workers, but any specifics that we should be looking out for?
I think let's not overestimate the resilience of the workers who are inside, and don't go by the smiles and the backslapping. Once this ultra phase is over in a few days, they would recall all their experiences. They might have panic attacks. They might have palpitations and a lot of intrusive thoughts. They get flashbacks as if the incident is happening now. They can get nightmares. They might get nightmares, night terrors. They might get dreams. So look at the symptoms for the next few months. Until they are completely all right, don't stop the mental health intervention, because generally we are always happy with doles, money, and photo ops. Let us be serious about this mental intervention till everyone recovers. Otherwise, they will suffer from PTSD all their lives. They might suffer from depression all their lives. They might have anxiety all their lives. So beyond the photo ops, beyond the backslapping, do not lose sight of the mental health needs of these employees and of these workers, and do not end relief by just a job or a dole or a compensation. Let's walk the last mile, the last step, and let us make this as an example of disaster mental health relief in India, which should be followed after every disaster in the country.
Well said. I hate to politicize anything that you say, but anything that you can figure out from the symptoms of the opposition, what kind of mental troubles they might be having? On a lighter note,
I think it's very unethical to talk about symptoms of any political party.
I agree with you.
But let me say, this is a victory of India. It is a victory of 1.4 billion Indians who could have wished that they actually came out, and it's a victory of every person there, the disaster worker who slept, who did not sleep probably for so many days.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said. India has won, and the man who was helming this entire operation at the NDMA, Lieutenant General Ata Hasnain, joins me live on the Newshour, member of the NDMA. And Ata Hasnain, congratulations, and India is proud today because we have our 41 brothers back with us. It's been an uphill task, and today the smiles have been rewarding. But were there any moments during the last 17 days that you felt this wasn't going the right way and, everything was hanging in balance?
Nevika, firstly, thank you for inviting me to this program. And it's congratulations, India. It's congratulations, Team India. Few days ago, we were all disappointed by the World Cup. Now we are all celebrating. This is a great moment for India. I think the happiness comes from the fact that not only have the 41 good people been rescued, but this has been done in a very exemplary kind of way, in which the whole of India came together and all of India effort has come into this. I've been repeatedly telling the media, it's an all of government effort which has gone into this. Every department of the government of India which has done this, from the PMO, the Honorable Prime Minister giving directions to the PMO, and then downwards to the main ministries, that's the Ministry of Home Affairs, Cabinet Secretariat, the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, the NDMA, everyone has played a role in this. But coming to your specific question, 17 days, the one thing which the public should know is that in a disaster operation of this kind, multiple options are worked on at the same time. There was never a question that you would look at a single resource and say, we are harping on this and we are banging our heads against this to make sure that this succeeds. We had 5 ways and then we adopted 6 ways of going forward. Somewhere we would end up banging our heads, but somewhere we would succeed. The most viable method, which was the one which we are pushing for, was this horizontal probe which was taking place from the Silkyara end of the tunnel, and we were all banking that this will succeed. Yes, there was huge disappointment. When I learned that the auger machine has broken down, I was hopeful we'll be able to repair it, but we couldn't. And the worst thing was that the machine was stuck inside. There were implements of the machine which were stuck right inside. To get them to cut that machine, that metal, and bring it out was an operation by itself. For that you needed magna cutters, laser cutters, all kinds of things. The fact that we had leadership on the ground, General VK Singh was camping there, his ability to raise the level immediately to the PMO, his own Union Minister, Mr. Gadkari, then taking it to the PMO putting out all the necessary directions, the Air Force getting his act together, and all this equipment could be flown in and brought in 12 hours time. And the next 12 hours we had been able to remove this equipment. Then started the hope when the rat miners finally came. And I think at the end of the day, the culmination of this operation was the role played by the rat miners, the army engineers, and the NSDICL people who went in working in very enclosed space.
Absolutely exemplary, the manner in which the coordination and the work went on. Let me also announce for our viewers, rupees 1 lakh to be given to each of the rescued workers. And announcement coming in that Boknak temple will be rebuilt, tunnels under construction will be reviewed. That's the statement coming in from the Uttarakhand Chief Minister, Mr. Pushkar Dhami. I just have one last question for you, General Ata Hasnain. And the question is, around 4 or 5 o'clock this evening, we felt that, it was just a few minutes. And then the Chief Minister drove away, and for 2 hours we were all in suspended animation. What really happened at that time, and why was the rescue halted for a while? At least that's what it seemed like from the outside.
Well, I can tell you this much, that a few days ago also this expectation was raised. You see, the moment VIPs arrive at the tunnel, of course, General VK Singh had been there throughout, but the moment the Chief Minister came there, expectations last time rose, and everyone thought it's a matter of 2-3 hours in which the Chief Minister has come here primarily to welcome the first worker coming out. Now, I think that the lesson was learned from there that it's necessary to continue to work till the last moment. When the last 2 meters were left, I was in the evening media brief. Even in the media brief, I did not mention anything about success. I continued harping on the point that we have still got to wait for the last peg to be driven in. That was the lesson I was passing on right for the last 7 or 8 days, that don't hype up expectations. I think the Chief Minister took a good decision. He moved away from there at that time, not to allow anyone to think that he was there just for the sake of welcoming people. He was overseeing the operation also. And the last minute hitch, there was no hitch as such. It was a question of stabilizing stabilizing the last 2 meters of push which was given to the pipeline. At the other end, you had to make sure it is stable before the workers started mounting into it, and the complete rescue operation by the NDRF commenced.
Well said, General Hasnain, and clearly big day, big victory, as you said, for Team India, and each Indian, each of the 1.4 billion Indians today feels part of that team, and victory at the end has never tasted and smelt this good before. Thank you very much. The country owes you one, and all your teams who worked on this. Thank you very much, General Hasnain. But also cutting across to Barkha, who is at the hospital where the ambulances have begun to arrive, and you heard that, Tehseen Poonawala. You know, it's Team India that won. Barkha, what's the latest update?
Navika ji, 5 ambulances have already reached here, and the second batch is yet to arrive. We can hear the sirens of the ambulances here. Just in a moment, just in a few minutes, they'll be here. In a couple of minutes, they'll reach here. A lot of security. The security is tightened here. As you can see, the ITBP officials and the police personnel, they are standing here from the last so many hours. The preparations were done from the last so many days. Now, we would like to show you the visual. My colleague Bilal will show you the visuals of the ambulances that are about to reach the spot. This is a major moment. A major breakthrough was made in the evening when we were able to reach the stranded men inside from the last 17 days. It was something we were waiting for a very, very long time. 17 days is a very long time. And now we have finally come to a successful end, and now the journey begins from this day as to how the labourers will be treated here, that their health conditions will be checked, and everything will be done here. In a few minutes, the other ambulances will be reaching here. We can hear the sirens as I'm telling you. This is the Chanyali Sod Healthcare Centers, which was prepared for those labourers who were stranded there for a very, very long time.
Barricades being opened up. The ambulance is expected to arrive any minute.
On a regular basis.
That's right. The barricades being opened up, and the ambulance is rolling in right there. And what a moment they're in. But as Dr. Harish Shetty said, you know, when the euphoria wears down, the real mental health checkups will begin. But for today, of course, it's been a sweet taste of victory, and I think Team India won, and we should
we all one team. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Jai Hind, and God's been kind. Whichever God you believe in, that superpower has been very kind in saving and rescuing each one of those 41, and that's 41 families out there who can heave a sigh of relief. And of course, there are 140 crore Indians who celebrate a second Diwali tonight, and of course, these families celebrate their first. And we're with them, and that's the spirit of India. Thank you very much,
thank you so much.
Gentlemen in the studio, and thank you to all my panelists for joining me on the News Hour tonight. God bless.